Nobody in this house needs refined sugar right now. Oh my God. Oh God. Hey everybody. Welcome once again. It is Wednesday night, content creation night. We are two geeks on a couch. My name is Friedel.
And I'm Edward.
And guess what month it is, Edward?
June.
It is June. As of this recording, it is June 2nd. And what do we know about the month of June?
It is Pride Month.
It is Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Pride Month. I would like to take a moment to remind all of us that the first Pride was a riot against the police, and that we would not have the Pride Month that we have without the revolutionary legacy of trans women of color like Marsha P. Johnson. So just a little queer history for all of you. So happy Pride. Due to the fact that it's Pride Month, we're diving into some queer horror. And what are we starting with tonight?
We are starting with, and I'm very excited to present my Scream Factory edition of this queer horror movie, The Babadook.
The Babadook. Instead of trying to unravel the fascinating journey that the character, the Babadook, has taken from a summoned monster to a queer cultural icon, here, I will invite every one of you to sort of go on that rabbit hole journey. It's a lot of fun. It's a labyrinth, really, more than a rabbit hole.
I'm excited for the eventual documentary. Someone's gonna make that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. This is yet another film that I have never seen and knew nothing about it before I went down my own brief research for the history of how the Babadook became a queer icon, and tried to skip over things that felt spoilery and failed.
At least I tried.
Okay, so you've been spoiled a little bit or a lot bit?
I don't know. I never know. I never know because you read a spoiler and then you're like, how much of that is a part of the story?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
That's why I'm like, be careful on the internet, kids. There's spoilers out there.
Beware. Beware.
This film is recent. I enjoy it a lot. I get a lot out of this movie. We can discuss that when it's over, but
okay.
I'm curious to watch it now from a dad perspective, whereas the last time I saw this, I didn't have any children, so that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. The updated dad lens.
Yes, because this is about the kid and his mother and a book.
Babadook, by the way, is an anagram of bad book.
Yes, it is.
A bad book.
A bad book.
This book is really quite bad.
People of the internet, tell us in the comments below. I know there aren't a lot of them, but tell us in the comments below, what is your favorite queer horror film?
Ooh.
Which one should we definitely be watching?
Yes. I don't also know if this is like a good time to be like, FYI, people, I am a very proud and out queer person. So shout out to both out and non-out queer people. Your identities are valid. I see and I love you. Thank you so much. Remember that your existence is an act of radical joy. I bow to you. If you're enjoying our antics and our reactions and discussions, please go ahead and boop the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give us a like. We also try to circle back to everyone's comments. So if you feel like sharing, please do so. Your comments give us a lot of life, even when you're stirring the pot in the other direction. So let's do this.
All right, let's do it.
Miss Fisher's in this film?
It's not broken, it just slipped.
Don't want you firing things off in the house
Wait,
anymore.
wait, what's this?
gonna do this.
Please don't.
Oh.
Here's one for you, Norma. It's got milk in it. What?
Oh, she's traumatized.
The monitor will supervise a one-on-one.
Samuel won't cope with this. He already feels so different.
Does it live under the
It's like
bed,
Beetlejuice.
Mom?
Oh.
It's in my room.
What is
The Babadook.
Oh, no.
I love how everything is almost black and white.
It's remarkable to me that the film is shot thus far. It feels like every scene highlights the absence of her partner and his father. And it's interesting that I feel like this film might be turning the absent father figure trope on its head a little bit.
Declare like that. Where did you get those firecrackers?
You got them for me on the internet.
Well, that's the end of the internet.
Fair. Whoa.
Can I come in?
Oh, thank God I've got therapy tomorrow. Why is there glass in the soup? It's like one of my worst nightmares.
Yeah, for real.
The Babadook did it, Mom.
Your family and friends.
Do you think this is funny? Oh, no. 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 Give it to me!
Do you want to die?
What the fuck? Open closets. It's like open windows, but worse.
Don't let it in. Don't let it in. Don't let it in. Don't let it in. Don't let it in.
I love the cinematography in this movie.
Hiding under the covers makes it worse.
You're not even good enough to have a dad. Everyone else has one, you don't. Do you
Ah.
I listen to your life. You don't come around to our house anymore? Because I can't stand being around your son. I can't believe you just said that.
No one wants you.
It's really...
How much more information do you need? Jerk. It seems really bad. Why does he have to fucking shame her? Oh my God. So is this entire film just about the personification of unintegrated cyclical grief and trauma?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay. So maybe if I just start crying now. So we do get to see what the Babadook.
Yes. I feel it's one of the things that I really love about this movie. It operates as an allegory. Is that correct? And it operates as an allegory for mental health issues and grief and depression, as well as being an effective haunted house movie. And part of the effectiveness of it is that there is a physical manifestation that you do see.
Does she ever see it?
Yes.
Does anybody else see it besides the two of them?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't recall. I don't think so.
Is the ways that the quality of visual surreality of the filming, like the photographic choices, was that what's called?
Cinematography.
The cinematography. There we go. It's late. You know, the creative photo choices. The cinematographic choices.
There was a cinematography.
That was very good.
Really reflect the qualities of reality dysmorphia that happen in grief, trauma, and depression.
Yeah, right.
Or post-traumatic stress disorder as well.
Our other favorite movie about grief does something similar, right? Like the visuals and the sets in Hereditary play to that as well. And it's also a very dark movie.
Yeah.
Even when it's daylight out, it's just very dark.
Yeah.
Inside the house. shots like that in this movie are so amazing. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're super beautiful. Oh god. Ah, interesting. Oh no. Does she accidentally kill the dog? Don't tell me. No.
You've never lived in New York City.
I lived in Florida. We have cockroaches the size of my thumb.
That's fair.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. Nope. I like this idea of turning on all the lights.
Right? See? Somebody did it. Is this George Malay's? Oh, it's similar, right? But it's something else.
I need to sleep.
I'm sorry, Mummy. I was just really hungry.
If you're that hungry, why don't you go and eat shit?
Mom? I'm doing Auntie Claire.
Oh. Ooh.
It's nice and warm in here.
Mom?
Leave it! An old lady who can hardly walk. Do you want to make her sick? Get that bloody thing off! I'll make sure nothing gets in tonight. All right, Samuel? Nothing is coming in here tonight.
Nobody in this house needs refined sugar right now.
There's true creepy stuff in this movie.
Oh no. Oh. Ah. Oh.
Let me in! Let me in! Let me in! Let me in! Little pig. 6 years old and you're still wetting yourself. I just want you to be happy. What did you say?
I said you're not my mother!
I am your mother! You'll be happy.
We said we'd protect each other. I don't want you to go away. No! No! Mummy! 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 Mummy!
not the exorcism I was expecting.
Mummy, don't!
Wow, you've got a lot today.
Am I ever gonna see it?
One day. It's all right.
How do you feel about that?
I loved that film.
I thought you might.
That was like 0 teeth cleanings and my favorite trip to my French bakery. Only horror style.
I apparently really like having a lot of grief with my horror movies.
That's your peanut butter and chocolate.
That's a chocolate
Grief.
and peanut butter combination I really like. It works for me in Ari Aster's stuff. It works for me in this. It works for me in Dr. Sleep. I don't know. I need that sort of catharsis, right? Of like dealing with these really hard things in horrific ways, apparently. That makes a movie really good for me. You know, there was some of that in Us. You know, I mean, and interestingly, a lot of those movies, and this included, are very polarizing, right? There's a lot of people in the horror community that don't think this is scary, thinks it's, they think it's overrated. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I love this movie. I think it's great. It's so well executed. It's gorgeous to look at. The performances are amazing. It hits on a lot of things that have been done before, but it does it in a really great original approach.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen a film that's quite like this, that deals with themes of grief, trauma, separation, post-traumatic stress disorder, mental health in this way.
I've seen that either, but it uses a lot of familiar things, a lot of familiar horror tropes to get to that point, to get from A to B, right?
Yeah.
To get from the car accident to the healing at the end. You know, watching this again when she's possessed and she's chasing her child around the house, it feels there are a lot of like shining elements to that.
Yes, sure.
When the Babadook is sort of first manifesting and showing up, there's a lot of like haunted house elements to that, haunted house movie elements to that.
Sure. Yeah, with all of the sounds and the lights flickering and the opening of the doors and the closing of the doors. And,
yes, and you start to get that anxiety because it's nighttime, so you know that like something is going to happen. There's a lot of very like surrealist imagery that sort of walks the line between David Lynch and Tim Burton in this really interesting way, like without ever quite leaning so much as to become like derivative, but there's like hints of it, right? Like you had said earlier, talking about Beetlejuice, or like, you know, some of the music is very reminiscent of like Danny Elfman's scores, and then, you know, some of the sort of surreal imagery is reminiscent of some of the stuff I've seen in Lynch's stuff. But I love that it's this like soup of all that stuff, but then does its own thing with all of it.
The flavors actually congeal into its own unique recipe, or like unique flavors visual flavors.
Yeah.
One of the things that I find really powerful as a person that has been, socialized as a woman because of the reproductive bits that I was born with, I feel like this movie speaks to the existential terror that people who are socialized as women and have the capacity to give birth carry, which is this kind of like ongoing fear about, if I have a child, will I regret having a child? And what does that say about me as a person, as a parent, as a woman, right? If I have a baby and then I regret having this baby, or if I have a mixed bag of feelings about having a child, or if I do have days where I wish that I hadn't had a kid. Right? All of the things that we see in her around, in her moments of possession, in her moments of like being possessed by her grief or being possessed by her psychotic break, or however we want to language that. She says like, I wish it would have been you instead of him.
She says the things, out loud.
Right.
And
I can imagine that there probably are people in the world that have lost their partner in some traumatic way and have had to endure the stress and the pressure and the anxiety and the trauma and the grief of raising their child alone, and might have had moments in their deep feelings of despair or grief where they might have wondered, what would my life would have been like? I think there's so much pressure for parenthood, regardless of where you fall on the gender spectrum, to look a certain way or to feel a certain way all the time.
Okay, here's the question of the night. What would you rate this movie?
My rating is working with my favorite therapist, a mug of hibiscus tea, running into a sliding glass window and breaking my toe.
Okay.
And being afraid I'll never be able to crack my toe again. How would you rate this film?
I want to give this movie a 9.
Yeah.
It's real spot on. It does what it sets out to do. It does it well. All of the production value is top notch across the board. I think the only reason I wouldn't even rate it higher is because I sort of feel like it could have maybe been a little bit scarier. It could have been a little bit more intense. Although, would that have made sense? I don't know.
I would like to hear more about how you would have made that film more intense, or at least what you mean by that. Because I'm like, I worked my ass off to not sob through that entire film.
I meant from the scary factor, right? So from the scary side of things, it's a very emotional movie. It's a very tense movie from that perspective. I would like it to have been a little bit less Tim Burton-y in the like creature department. Just a little bit. I mean, there's some really creepy stuff in this movie, right? There's things that send shivers up my spine, and I've seen this, a handful of times. Sure. And it did it again watching it this time, right? There's some creepy stuff in it. Watching it this time, I felt like I remembered there being more scary bits in it than there actually were. I think I would have liked to see that turned up a little bit, but again, a 9 is pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I'm holding this movie in pretty high regard. I think artistically, it just nails what it's trying to do.
Do you feel like seeing this now as a parent that maybe your focus shifted to the relationship between the mom and the son more?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I could relate to her a lot more. It was less like, oh, that kid is fucking annoying, and more like more compassion and empathy for what the kid is going through and what the mother is going through as a result, right? Like you can say as a parent, poor kid, also poor mom, also like I get this, right? Like I get the like kid freaking out in the car and you still have to like drive the fuck home.
Yeah.
Or you pull over because it's like too much, right? Like I've had that happen, and there weren't, any mental health crises or ghosts or anything like that. So it's a good movie. It holds up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Happy Pride, everyone. Hope you enjoyed our Babadook reaction.
Happy Pride. We'll see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate the company.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.